Hi once again. This time I thought it was about time I let uh, my Cactus followers have a look in, and we've left this time the telephones alone and gone on to what I'm tongue-tied, which is unusual for me. My Christmas reading, or at this time of year when there's nothing much doing in the greenhouse, and the Cactus Journal arrived the other day, and I thought I'd put a mention in for them. And also something I started many years ago in the Mesem study group bulletin. I haven't added one for ages. It's lack of time, and like everything else, these things catch up. Other things come along which are perhaps easier to do. Anyway, I had a series called Peter's Ramblings. It was a series devised by Suzanne. It's a good idea. I put several in over several years, Peter's Ramblings, and they would be on anything more or less to do with the hobby. Obviously, with the Mesems group, it was orientated or directed mainly at the Mesems, which, as you know, includes lithops, conophytums, murias, if you're lucky enough to get them, very rare, gibbons, and a load of others. And it was good because it gave you a chance to talk about anything I wanted to, and it was, I think they liked it. Anyway, I thought I'd carry the same series on YouTube. It's obvious I like talking, and I suppose living alone, or rather not living alone, I live with a pussycat who I'm always talking to. She's a beautiful cat. She's fairly new to me. Unfortunately, I lost my other two black cats, which are my avatar. I think they call it avatar, which is the picture that appears with me. They done well. They were 18 or 19 apiece, and that was this year, and last year I lost one or the other. So unfortunately they've gone, and I replaced it with Tabitha, a beautiful little pussycat, very, very friendly. She's 12 years old. I said I wanted a cat. I didn't want a kitten. It wouldn't be fair. As I said last, I'm virtually 80. I will be next month. And I wanted a pussycat that I could look after. Because how many years I've got to go, you just don't know. Certainly, I don't think I'd last 18 years like the other cats lasted. But you never know. So that was what I decided. Mind you, I got this through Battersea Dogs Home, well, Battersea Dogs and Cats. I help them out each. Well, I help them out. I subscribe to them each month, and I thought, well, they'd probably be a good place to get the pussy from. And that's what happened. I did try a local rescue in Wallington, and I'm afraid the gentleman was so rude to me. He wouldn't let me have a cat. He said, "You're too old, you're likely to drop dead." And I thought, what a thing to say, just because I was old. And he said to me, "You won't find anyone else or any other rescue place would be prepared to let you have a cat." Well, I was really insulted. I've had cats all my life. I like dogs as well. I've never had a dog, but I've always had cats. and I was very upset. Fortunately, Battersea stepped in, and I've got nothing but praise for them. So Tabitha is doing very well. Okay, she's like me. She's a bit dodgy on her pins, on her rear pins, because well, I suppose with all with getting old, you get a bit dodgy. I know I have a job at times walking, so it is a common thing. Anyway, let's get back to why I wanted to start this. In the winter time, as you know, there's nothing much going on in the greenhouse. I haven't been to any cactus meetings for a long time. I must try and remedy that. My local branch is a very, very good branch. It's the Croydon branch. Unfortunately, North Surrey branch folded up during during COVID, and we lost a couple of several members, including Terry Smale, who was leading light of that branch, and a shame, it really was. But I remember Croydon branch many years ago. We used to meet in a schoolhouse in Croydon, but that was a long time ago. My memory does tend to go back a few years. Talking about the cactus, well, this is what the National Cactus Society, or the British, well, the Journal of the British Cactus and Succulent Society. I remembered when there was two societies, the GB Society, the Cactus and Succulent Society of Great Britain, and the National Cactus Society, which was a spin-off, I believe, from the Yorkshire Cactus Club. It was certainly it started up in Yorkshire. Anyhow, a little bit cross at times because I joined the GB Society many years before I joined the National. I joined when I was a kid. Let's say I don't know exact age, I can probably find it out, but I was definitely a kid. I wasn't even a teen. So 8, 9, 10, that's when I started. And in fact, I started growing cacti at a very early age. Well, I say I started growing cacti. I was given a few cuttings from a neighbour. Remember the plant? It was Mammillaria gracilis. And that sort of started me off. So, yeah, I've been doing these a few years. And it's been interesting. It's a hobby that's kept me out of mischief. And as I say, what upset me a bit, eventually the two societies, the GB Society, Great Britain, which is the older of the two, and memberships were got by various members of the time. I remember PVC Collins, Percy Collins, Arthur Balder, and others. They gathered names and addresses of people interested in forming the Cactus and Succulent Society of Great Britain. Now, some years later, perhaps at the same time, but round about the same time, it was in the 30s. If I got my dates wrong, don't worry, I'm number blind, so I might get my dates wrong at times. The Yorkshire Cactus Club, I understand now, this is what I was told, got a hold of the list of proposed members for the GB Society, and they used those to start up their own society, the National. And through those early years, there was always mistrust, I suppose you could say, between the two societies. The original, the GB Society, which I joined as a kid, and the National. Both were good societies, but unfortunately there was always this little bit of niggle between, at the time, the older members who knew what had gone on. A great pity, unfortunately. Anyhow, eventually the two societies joined. They joined forces. I think I was responsible in a little prize of the new badge at the time. I know now the badge is slightly different, but the badge originally was made up of sort of a uniting of the two badges used by both societies, which I think is better than the new one, but I suppose with modern times, they've got a picture of the new one. There, well, that's the new one. Okay, it's clever, but I still prefer the old one. Perhaps I'm old-fashioned, don't know. Anyhow, I think I gave a prize, either some plants or something. I can't really remember. But it was a long, long time ago when the merger took place. Some people were very strong about it. They didn't want it. I know one member of the National says, "Oh, they'll merge over my dead body," and someone else said that could be arranged. But anyhow, that's happened years ago. But what I thought was a nasty thing they did, your membership number, which is important to you, perhaps not when you were young, but when you get old and crotchety like me, you like to be appreciated for the length of time you've been in a particular society. What they did, they disregarded all the membership numbers of members from the Great Britain Society. So that meant my number then was deleted and started with the National. So it's I think was very unfair. Yet members of the National could still use their numbers going back to when that society was started. Anyway, that's my main grouse about this. I think it was very unfair. But there we are, that's what happens. Anyway, let's get back to the journals themselves. This is, they now call themselves Cactus World. It has been called Cactus World for a while. Well, I don't necessarily agree with changing of names. As far as I'm concerned, it's the British Cactus and Succulent Society, but their journal is Cactus World. Let's have a quick look. This is the latest one that arrived. Very thick edition. Plenty of pages. Plenty of information. I noticed the subscription rates are down there. It's a fair price, considering how much postage charges there are. I think it works out about, yeah, UK members £20. I now see that you have to do it by being online. Well, okay, fortunately I'm online. And that's the same with the Cedars. This is what the journals are. It's a very good journal. There's only more or less to show you what is in the journal, is to talk about something rather than going down a cold greenhouse and not seeing much down there because that stuff's resting. This is a very full edition. It's got many, many pages. I won't go through all the pages, but it is, as I say, a very good journal. Sometimes the politics has been a bit naughty, but you know, that happens. Anyhow, also I get a Mesem study group. Now I was a founder member of that, one of the founder members. Very, very good journal. Unfortunately, we lost Terry Smale, and he was the leading light on this. He really was good. His conophytums, well, you couldn't better them. He got a lot of seeds from his own plants. Some he'd collected himself. He'd done a lot of work for the society. It was a great pity he passed away. Very unexpected, I might say. You know, got something. This is just more or less to show you what we've got. There's about Terry's name there. So many things have happened since then. Of course, we had the COVID, which didn't help. Also, we show you with the Cactus journal, you also got notes of how to grow them, and that's showing various plants. So it is a very, very good, well, they're both good journals. I could mention a load more journals, but I won't at this stage. Anyhow, that's more or less a plug for the Mesem Study Group and Cactus World, British Cactus and Supplement Society. Now also, I've been trying to pick up as many clones as I can of Xeriosichus danguii. That is a plant which always interested me. I lost some several years ago. They just got too cold, which was a great pity. But anyhow, I've replaced a lot of these. I'm trying to get clones wherever I can. Some are expensive, some are cheap. I'm hoping to get them. I'd like to flower them and try and get seeds. But I believe the plants are dioecious, which means male and female are on separate plants. Something like Euphorbia obesa, they're dioecious. So hopefully, by picking up plants from different sources, got some from Italy, I think Italy, Scotland, England. So we'll wait and see what happens. Unfortunately, I lost one that I particularly liked, which was originally from my plant when I lived elsewhere, and a cutting was given to Brookside Nurseries, Alan. Unfortunately, I lost the plant. He gave me a cutting many years ago. So that clone I haven't got anymore, but it grew, I understand, very well. And in Spain, where Alan is, with his Brookside Nursery, I think he said it was growing up the side of the house, which I can quite believe. And being in Spain, it's a bit warmer than it is here. So I had a cutting, but unfortunately, that was one that succumbed to the cold. So that's Xeriosichus danguii. There's another Xeriosichus perrii. These plants were named by a French botanist, so well known I've forgotten his name. I do apologise. Being the age I am, I do tend to forget certain things. But it was a French botanist who travelled many places around the world, and one of the places he went to was Madagascar, and that is where that particular plant comes from. It's a member of the cucumber family, Cucurbitaceae, something like that, and the name simply means Xerio, means dry, and Cactus means cucumber. So it's dry cucumber, and obviously refers to where it grows and how it grows, being obviously a drought-loving plant. Anyhow, I'm nearly finished for this rambling. I think if I talk too long, whether they will allow this video to go in that length, I don't know. I'm still learning about computers. Okay, I'm probably a thicko when it comes to certain computer things. But there we are, that's what happens. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. This is the first of the series. It won't appear that often, but any information I've got I can put up. I might even put ramblings under trips around the greenhouse. At least it gives me a title to use. I've got my telephones from around the world. I've got lamps like from the collection, so I can do quite a lot of different ideas to put up. But anyhow, I'm gonna shut up now. Hopefully that'll be something of interest, and more or less to highlight the two societies, the Mesem Study Group, which I was one of the founder members, along with Suzanne, who it was her baby, that it was her idea to get this started, and it was very, very good. So pleased. Lots of things have happened, and obviously the British Cactus and Succulent Society, which is the other one. I could tell many anecdotes about things. I suppose joining when I was a kid, probably got a lot of things to memorise, particularly some of the meetings up at the RHS Hall. Oh, they were good meetings, good days they were. I remember Percy Collins handing round a flower of a Stapelia. I think it was Stapelia leondytzii, which is a beautiful plant. It's like a bell-shaped flower, red, beautiful plant. I remember that. I was a kid at the time. And Stan Jones, he gave out some plants of orbiculator. Is it cotyledon orbiculator? I think it was a cotyledon orbiculator. And it was a competition on who could grow them the best. Unfortunately, at the time I got one, it was a tiny thing. I think in those days I would sit at the back of the hall like a little mouse being quiet. Not so much now though. But anyhow, that was, let's say, I forget his name now. But anyhow, it was always a good meeting. Stan Jones, that was his name, Stan Jones. He had a nursery at Normandy. When I say Normandy, that is Normandy near Guildford, not in France. And he was a good grower as well. And mention made of the fish keeper, Arthur Balder. He used to sell seedling plants, very reasonable, mainly mammillarias. I think he charged about 1 and 6pence. That's in the old money. 1 shilling and 6pence. Very cheap and very good plants. Remember those. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. I don't want you all going to sleep. It's just memorising certain things that happened within the societies and the early days. So many people I remember those. Unfortunately, a lot of them are no longer with us. It's a great, great pity. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to have my long awaited for cup of coffee. So thanks for putting up with my ramblings. This will be a series, but don't worry, it won't be that often. It'll be on and off. So thanks again for watching. Thank you.